Well, welcome back to the YouTube channel of Nick Walker Ministries. If you like what you're hearing and it's blessing you and blessing others, don't forget to hit like and subscribe. That's a great help to us. And be sure to share this with family and friends who might find this interesting. I don't have much of a teaching per se. I will tell you that it's early on a Sunday morning at the time that I am filming this. We try to film our videos pretty well in advance, and at the time of my videoing of this, it's early Sunday morning. We have church in Cleveland on Tuesday nights. That's our weekly service, and so I usually have Sundays, I won't say off. I usually have Sundays as a work day, and I take Tuesday off instead. And so I'm in the office right now. It's really early. I just finished with some time out back. I get to have a beautiful time of prayer in the mornings on the deck at the lodge. And so sometimes when I am finished praying, I'll jump on Facebook and look at my memories. And sometimes the Lord will speak to me through the memories. And I don't know if you guys are like me. I check my memories every day because Facebook will always tell you, 2 years ago you posted this, or 5 years ago you posted this. And for me, it's a lot of revival memories from the last 5 to 7 years. And I like to go back and see what the Lord was doing back then. It reminds me not just of what he's done, but also of what he's going to do, because sometimes I'll see memories on there and the Lord will minister to me through those memories. And today was certainly one of those days. And so the partners got a different version of this same video. They're going to get it a little bit later. For the partners, it is 8 things that revival taught me, 8 things that I have learned in the different revival seasons that I have been a part of. Here on YouTube, I'm going to do 3 things that revival taught me. And so if you want to learn more about our ministry, our partners get a video similar to this. They get totally different content every Friday. It's a partners only sign up thing on our website. Visit nwministries.com if you want to know more about that, or more about anything that our ministry is doing. But the people that sow into us financially, we like to sow back into them with a weekly video. And so I'm doing 2 versions of this. And so they'll notice that. They're going to get their 8 things revival taught me a little bit later on. But I want to give you all this 3 things that revival taught me. Now, keep in mind, as we go into revival, you all know that the mission of this ministry in particular, is to wake up the church, save the lost, and empower a generation. Those are the things that we have said. We have said in our hearts. That's what the Lord has spoken to us, and we have decided. We've counted the cost, and we've said we're running after this thing. And so the first thing we need to understand is that revival is very, very costly. It is a whole lot more than 3 evening services in a row on a Friday to Sunday, or 4 nights, a Sunday to Wednesday. Revival is so much more than that. As a great revivalist of old defined revival, he defined it as the intensification and acceleration of the Holy Spirit's normal work. And so these are things that I have seen, though, in every revival. When you hear these, you might say, well, that doesn't sound good. These are just things that happen. I'm not saying they're good or bad. I'm just saying that these things do happen. And it would be, I would do a disservice to people to say that revival is all things wonderful. And it is a wonderful time, and there's great harvest, and it's always worth it. But there is a cost to revival, and it might cost you more than you're willing to pay. And so I've looked at revival and I've had to ask many times, have I counted the cost fully? Is it worth the cost? And I've never quit learning. I always learn something new when I go into a new revival meeting. But we've been a part of revivals that have gone 2 weeks, 10 weeks, 6 weeks, 15 weeks. In different places across Appalachia. We've been a part of many revival meetings. And these are just some things that the Holy Spirit ministered to me through the Facebook memories. As I was telling you, I was looking on my Facebook memories, and just on this particular day, 4 years ago we were in this revival, and 2 years ago we were in this revival, and last year we were in another revival. And the Lord just began to minister to me some different things that I have learned. And I always try to remind myself, and I always try to be a student of the Lord, and a student of revival, a student of what he would want me to learn to take into the next season. I always come away from a revival with something different that I can take into the next one, a greater level of wisdom, a greater level of revelation, a greater level of who he is. And I'm just grateful that revival didn't start with me, and I can't sustain revival. I'm not good enough to sustain revival. It's not something that man can do. But I am so grateful to have been a part of great revival meetings across the mountain state of West Virginia and in other places. So, three things revival taught me, and again, the partners are getting this, and they're getting 8 things revival taught me. But I want to give the YouTube channel 3 things. Number 1, you will see the best and worst come out of people and yourself. I want to say that again. Y'all got to hear this. This might be the most important thing. It's hard to rank these, but you need to hear this. When revival comes, when the fire of revival comes, you will see the best come out of people when they're getting delivered, they're getting saved, they're getting called into ministry, they're walking in God's purpose, they're becoming pure and clean. So you're seeing the best come out of people. However, you will also see the worst come out of people. You will see the best of both worlds in people and you. And why is that? Well, because Jesus said in the book of Revelation, he said, I wish you would buy from me gold that's been refined by fire. And anytime gold is refined by fire, it's put in a melting pot. Very high temperatures melt the gold to liquid. Everything that's not gold, friends, rises to the surface. All the impurities, all the dirt, all the minerals, everything that's not gold. And the goldsmith has to come and scrape that layer off the top until he gets pure gold. And when we're in the fires of revival, you might wonder, and I've had this. Listen, I've had this happen to me at every revival. The Lord does use me, no doubt about that. But there's also I also have to surround myself with people who will look at me and say, hey, there's that. At one particular revival, it was Nick, that pride's really come to the surface, or that arrogance has really come to the surface. That rebellion has really come to the surface, and the Lord brings these things to the surface on purpose. I say he brings it to the surface on purpose. There's a purpose to what's on the surface. And the purpose is that the Lord will scrape that off the top and continually purify you. Now, the key to the reason I'm telling you this is because when you see the worst come out of people, it's easy to allow strife and gossip and bickering and disputes to pervert the unity that revival brings. And I want you to understand that when the best and worst come out of people, we have got to learn how to walk with people at their, it's easy to walk with people when they're at their best, but when the things come to the surface, we have got to learn how to pray our brothers and sisters through things instead of going behind their back. Can you believe they said that? Can you believe they did this? So revival brings out the best and worst in people, and we've got to learn how to walk with both if we want to sustain a spirit of revival and unity in our churches and communities. Number 2, wherever Jesus is, Satan is not far behind. I'm going to say that again. Wherever Jesus is, I've told every prayer team I've ever worked with, wherever Jesus is moving, and I don't need to list you the 15,000 Bible references that let us know, wherever Jesus is, the enemy is never far behind. And so if Jesus is moving in signs, wonders, and miracles, you can be sure, as they used to say, you can bet your bottom dollar that wherever Jesus is, the enemy is going to try to come and pervert. He's going to try to come and sow discord. He's going to try to come and sow envy. He's going to try to come and get our eyes off of the prize, off of the treasure in the field that is the face of Jesus. And so keep in mind, wherever Jesus is, the enemy is going to come and attempt to rob us of the blessing, to rob us of the revival, to rob us of the joy of experiencing the things that Jesus is doing. And number 3, if the enemy can't keep you from having it, he can keep you from enjoying it, or he will try to keep you from enjoying it. I want to say that again. If the enemy can't keep you from having revival, many of you by this point, you're already in a revival meeting. Let's say you're already in a river of revival and it's running. And so the enemy says, well, I can't keep them from having it because they're already in it. And so what he then tries to do is keep you from enjoying it. And he will try to put burdens on you. He will try to, this is when he tries to come and sow discord and discredit what God is doing. And I just want to encourage the people of God today that if wherever Jesus is, the enemy isn't far behind. Keep that in mind, that the enemy will always try to keep you from enjoying something that God intended for you to take delight in. And so those are 3 of many things. I've learned more than 8 things, by the way. The partners are getting 8 things. I'm currently developing this. This is something that the Lord ministered to me just a couple hours ago. I just wrote this down and thought I'd come up and share some of it with you. And so I pray that this is a blessing to you. You'll see the best and worst come out of people. And wherever Jesus is, the enemy is not far behind. And if the enemy can't keep you from having that revival, he can try to keep you from enjoying it. And we have got to keep the joy of the Lord, because that is our strength. If he can keep us from joy, he can keep us from strength. And if he makes us weak, he can win the battle. And so I wanted to encourage you in that. Revival is a costly thing. It's not all it's not all great and good and wonderful. It's always worth it, but it's not always great and good and wonderful. And we have to decide as the people of God that the cost, whatever the cost may be for you, is worth it when you see the end of the journey. So God bless you. I love all of you. Thank you for keeping up with us. Don't forget again to hit the like and subscribe if you want to see videos similar to this. We post one every week. And so keep up with nwministries.com if you want to see where we're coming next and what we're doing. And we can't wait to see you in a city near you. Revival is coming to your area. God bless you. We'll see you next time.